Hello, everybody. Welcome to the channel. So we have a nice introduction into Elden Ring here. So as we get started here, a lot of people need to understand that this game is amazing and the community has always been amazing just because that FromSoft has taken a different direction in terms of, their approach kind of just branching out from the typical FromSoft kind of game and taking the leap into the next genre first game to really do that, really. Just straight PvE based, no PvP. So, off the bat, I would like to say that Elden Ring Night Reign has been phenomenal. The music, the story already within the Nightfarers has already been amazing, and the ability to do this with friends just kind of tops it off. We do wish we could have crossplay, but hey, you know what? We can wish for everything. Oh, how we want crossplay so bad. So, with that being said here, so I just wanted to kind of give people just a general kind of understanding on the game. Um, one thing that I do want people to understand is that, in Elden Ring Night Reign, you really have to know what kind of build that you're going to use. After farming and beating many, many bosses, I've learned that your build is everything. And also, your team is the other half. How well do your characters synergize with the other characters in your team? How well is your build at what you want your build to do? It comes down to those two things. That can make the gameplay really, really fun or not so much fun. And also the ability to play with people that really is a fun thing to do as well. Of course, they haven't fixed the game chat issue yet, but I'm sure they will, and I'm sure, hopefully, just hopefully, that those duos will come soon. But yeah, so with that being said, first things first is kind of just going over, each boss here. You know, every boss has a weakness. Every boss also can really kick butt in some way. But just like your character, he can kick butt in some way, but he also probably has a weakness. For Iron Eye, for example, as you can see, he's more of a long range character. So he's more effective from a long range. So yeah. So with that being said, kind of just keep these things in mind to kind of help you kind of get a grasp on the game. Yes, it is a battle royale style, but speed is what really makes you kind of get further in the game than kind of taking your time and absorbing everything. You want to kind of really be fast with your exploration, killing bosses, and day one and day two, kind of getting prep for day three. Day three, analyze it as a prep day. Day three, you're already taking your final exam. You know, day one and day two, you're studying for the exam, if that makes sense. So yes, day one and day two, you're getting your levels, you're hitting the mines, but you don't have to hit the mines if you get good loot from vendors. There's vendors on the map. They give you talismans, they give you purple weapons, they give you exotic weapons sometimes as well. And they also have smithing stones, which saves you time from going to the mines. So, um, you know, a lot of people don't really know about this because they probably played one game or two and kind of just like, But if you really kind of just give it a chance, I promise you it's very addicting. Kind of just the repetitiveness of kind of just having to grind over and over again. It can be very, very grindy, more grindy than you would imagine because you have to get relics for your builds to be more effective, right? So, with that being said, just keep all this in mind here that these things all synergize into you having like the ultimate experience, and then of course just having a great group of people to play with here. As you can see, you go down the list. Each boss, some bosses may be weak to poison. Some bosses may be weak to fire. So you want to kind of spec out to that. You can get relics that have that starting out. You can get teammates that have that, and you can kind of support your teammate by having a healing relic. Everybody should automatically go ahead and just attempt to fight the fourth boss, Argar. He gives you a healing relic if you beat him. So that way you can heal your allies. That's what I mean by healing relic. You can heal your allies. You can raise your maximum HP if you beat the fourth boss, Argar. Okay, so off bat, that is one of the bosses everyone should go ahead and just try and get. It makes the gameplay much more effective, and it kind of makes it feel less difficult when you have three teammates that can heal you 7 times. So that's a total of 21 flasks. So just keep that in mind. These are things to make the gameplay much, you know, much easier than having to run everywhere and feel like you didn't get everything. And now you're like, oh man, like I wish I had more time to do this. So, um, granted taken, I know randoms, playing with just randoms just feels like it's like a race. It's just who can click the fastest location first and go to this location. But yeah, so in a lump sum, that's basically how you want to prep for bosses, how you kind of want to go about it. Now for characters, more into that department, every character has a remembrance. Remembrances give you abilities. These abilities are obtained by applying these relics that you get from completing these remembrances. So, yes, it is grindy in that aspect as well, which gives people a lot of to look like it gives people a lot to look forward to in terms of wanting to be able to feel something that is very grindy. It can be very grindy. Getting those remembrances and then also getting, specific bosses, do give you cosmetics as well. So just remember that, basically each boss gives you something valuable to obtain and a lump sum as well. And progressing the remembrances and the story also give you more of a kind of like a campaignish kind of feel. It isn't more of just like a typical battle royale kind of like PvP feel. It gives you a strong campaign feel with a mix of like a co-op, like an online co-op, kind of RPG kind of game. So it's very very fun. So yeah, with that being said, I definitely would recommend, maybe going into the Elden Ring Discord, finding people to play with, getting a setup team. That way you can kind of get a good grasp on how to fight bosses. Some bosses are very difficult. The first couple of days when the game came out on launch, it took us a full day to beat a boss, because nobody knew what these relics really did. As we quickly learned, by day two, we're feeding the second boss. Day three, the third boss. Day four, the fourth boss, so on and so on. Or same day we beat bosses. Once we started to get a real grasp of how to beat bosses, how to spec for bosses, you can beat multiple bosses back to back to back. So just keep all these facts in mind here as well with that as well. So again, if anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out to me. Comment in the comment section. If you have any questions or anything about that aspect as well. But with that being said, that's kind of just a general kind of guide on kind of how to get started here, in Elden Ring. So with that being said, yeah. Also, I would love to share just about myself. I've been busy with life these past few years. Finally I've gotten to a place where I can release stable content. It's been a while since college I was able to release some content. But I'm back on the best game series in my opinion of all time. I'm a big FromSoft fan. I've played, Dark Souls 1, Dark Souls 2, Dark Souls 3, Elden Ring, you name it. Demon Souls, Bloodborne. I really enjoy, FromSoft's games. Love the games that they make. Have played it growing up with buddies I grew up with on the same street as me. I started, in Dark Souls 1, and I feel like Dark Souls 1 was my hardest game I played, even though today I go back and play it, and it's probably pretty easy. But I really, really love FromSoft's game series, and I really love this game starting off. So that's a big reason why I made this video to help people. This could be people's first game into the series. So kind of just giving people just a guide, guide on, how to play the game, where to go, and, pretty much where to go from there. Hopefully in the future they will add duos and crossplay. Fingers crossed. But yes. So with that being said, again, everybody, thank you for tuning in. This is my first video on this game series, and I will be making more videos. I will be streaming on weekends. If you catch me on stream, definitely give me a follow on the stream. My Twitch name is YBLINKK as well. With that being said, I play on Xbox and mainly PC. I also have a PlayStation. With that being said, again, everybody appreciate the love and the support. And until next time.